What I want to show you is how to access the Google Sites template. What you need to do is either have Gmail or Google Drive open so you can get to your apps button here. And once that page loads, you're going to probably need to browse the sites, and you can either look at all sites or templates to narrow that down. I'm just going to go to templates. And then what you need to do is you need to pick either elementary or junior high. And I'm just going to go back into my demo site here that I have for the high school. And I would just want to walk you through a couple of things that you're able to do on here rather easily. Once you have your template made, I would drop the address onto your toolbar. And if you don't know how to make the toolbar, just call me and I'll walk you through that, how to set that up. But that'll give you really easy access so you can get to it whenever you need to. So just a couple things. A Google site is basically, it's a wiki, if you've ever heard of that before. There's different brands of wikis. There's Wikispaces and PBWiki and Wix and different things like that. But basically, Google's version of that is called Sites. And a couple of reasons you need to know this inside and out is because we are actually looking at having students create e-portfolios in the future. Not sure what year we will start that, but that's definitely something we're looking at. So teachers really need to know these backwards and forwards so we can help students as they begin to create theirs down the road. But for now anyway, this gives us a very, very strong web presence. And my hope is that once you get your Google class or your Google site, up and running, we will get it linked to your School Fusion page. So that can kind of replace that as your web presence. That's kind of a place where parents are going to go. Community members might want to go there to kind of see what's going on in your classroom. And this gives them a very, very good view, kind of, if you will, into what's happening in your class. So the templates are set up basically the same, just obviously because of structure in our day, the elementary sites and the high school sites are set up a little bit differently. In the template, I put in, I think, the ability to put in 6 different preps. If you need more than that, let me know and we can add some pages. And if you want to get rid of some of those, let me know and we can get rid of those as well. But basically, each one of these is set up the same. I have the top one is Meet Your Teacher, where you can add your contact information. The next link here is just to the Gering website. Then the link to Infinite Campus, and I think that is the link for students, not necessarily for teachers. I think that's the way I set it up, to give students really quick and easy access to Infinite Campus from this page, because this is their portal, okay, if you want to call it that. It's just kind of a place where they can link this on their bookmark toolbar and they can get into their class very, very quickly and easily. Chrome and Chromebook resources is just a document that I'm going to keep working on, where I have different resources listed for those things. I will have some information for Nexus tablets and things like that on there as well. I also link to my blog, which is a fabulous resource for teachers, and students maybe not so much, but teachers will definitely find that to be a useful source. So I have my blog linked everywhere. It's on here, it's on my signature in my email, it's all over the place to make it easy to find. So anyway, each of the preps is set up identical. I just generically called them Prep 1, Prep 2, so you can go back in and change that. In order to change the name of the prep, what you need to do, you can get into this one of 2 ways. You can either go up to the little action menu up here and drop that down, and you can click on Edit Site Layout. And alternatively, just as kind of a shortcut, you can just click M and that brings up this menu as well. So I'm going to click on Edit Site Layout and just kind of show you what this looks like. You would click on the blue box that you want to edit, and we'll call this US History. And just by default, for some reason, whenever you edit this, it deselects your ability to display the page title, so you'll want to click that so your students will know which class they're in. And then I'm going to click OK. And if we give it just a second, it's going to show up over here as US History. And I'm going to have to close out of this edit menu to continue. So the next thing I want to show you is how to add a syllabus. I'm pretty sure my syllabus is already linked in here. Hopefully it's not. Okay, it doesn't look like it is. So we have a blank page here, which is absolutely perfect. To edit this page, you have to go into edit mode, which is simply clicking the pencil. If at any time you are trying to access your site and this pencil doesn't show up, it means you're not logged in. So as long as you see your name in geringschools.net over here, you should be able to see this menu bar here. So we'll go ahead and click on Edit Page. And you'll see some features come up here. We have a toolbar up here that we can access, and we have some features on this page that weren't here when you were just in view mode. The first thing I'm going to show you is layout. For the page for your syllabus, I have selected one column simple, which basically means you're going to have one column across the page here. And simple just means there's no title associated with this page. You see the syllabus prep 1 here simply because we're in edit mode and it's just telling you as the owner of this what that page is. But if I were to save this right now, you wouldn't see anything on this page at all. If I want to add a title, I will just click one column. And if you can see from the little icon here, it's got the black bar across the top and then the wide bar across the middle. The black bar across the top is just simply where you would insert your title. So I just might call this US History. US History Syllabus. And by default, the font is kind of small, so I'm going to take it up to 24. And I'm going to center it. And I'm not crazy about this font, but unfortunately, we don't have too many we can select from. If you wanted to get really fancy, you could actually create your titles in Word, or not in Word, but in Google Docs, and you could change them to any font you want. Then you could actually take a screenshot of it, and you could actually put a picture of your title in this box if you wanted to get fancy. Just for now, keep it simple and stick with one of the 4 or 5 default fonts on here. But we can change the color. So I'm going to go ahead and change it just to show you. I'm just going to change it to purple. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let me go back to black here. This is supposed to be purple. Yeah, I don't want that black on the background. We're going to change that to just white. And then we will have purple text. Okay. In a real classroom, I would not put purple text. I just did that to show you how to change the color. Now, what I want to show you is how to insert a Google Doc into here, because chances are you have your syllabus located in a Google Doc. So these are all the different things you can add. I can add an image directly from here, a link, a text box, an HTML box. There's all kinds of things I can link. But for the most part, I'm going to be adding documents and probably some videos and maybe a calendar. So let me show you. I'm just going to hover over Drive. And when I do that, it brings up all the things that could potentially be saved in my Google Drive that I might want to upload into my Google site. But I want to put a document in here. And I just happen to know that syllabus is one of the words in the document that I'm going to pick, and it's syllabus example. So I'm going to check the box. I'm going to click select. I'm going to leave everything in here the way it is because I like it. You don't have to have these items checked, but it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. But you know what? I'm going to take off the title because I put a title on it already. So I'm going to click Save, and because I like things kind of centered in my universe, I'm going to click Center, and then Save, and my syllabus is going to pop up here in just a second. Now, If I needed to edit this, let's say I'm the teacher and I notice that maybe one of my dates doesn't match up here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this syllabus example. And I'm going to change, maybe this first date here needs to be the 1st through the 4th. Okay, and I'm going to click. Oh, the other thing that I need to tell you real quick is you need to make sure that any documents or calendars or anything that you happen to share in your classroom site, you need to make sure that they are viewable at least by the public. You're not going, if you had something on here that was just still private to you, so let's say you create a document and by default all documents are set to be private to where you are the only person who can view them, you're going to need to go in and change that setting up in the upper right corner. So let me go back to my syllabus over here. You can see it still says 1 through 5. I'm going to refresh that, and now it should say January 1st through 4th. Okay, so you can edit on the fly, but you can't edit on the Google site itself. You have to go ahead and open the document, and that link is always listed at the bottom of the page down here. And let me see what else I want to show you. Oh, let's go ahead and add a calendar page. If you're not one that works with calendars a whole lot, you don't have to have this page in here. I like to have this in here last year when I was still in the classroom. I really like to have this on here just to kind of keep me on track and let me know what's happening, what things are coming up maybe that we're doing at school, field trips, concerts, different things like that. So you don't necessarily have to put your classroom stuff on here, but maybe just things that you want the kids, your students, to be aware of. To add a calendar, we're just going to go into Edit, and I'm going to go to Insert, Calendar, and right now I have my work calendar on there, and I'm just going to leave it the way it is. You can only add one calendar at a time. You could add calendars below each other, so maybe you wanted to have 2 or 3 different calendars on a page, but what you could always do is set up maybe like a classroom calendar and have it display a couple different calendars. That way you can have multiple events showing on one calendar. If you need any help with that, just let me know and I can show you how to do that. But as far as displaying calendars, you can just display one at a time. So I can't display my personal calendar and my demo calendar. I have to pick one and stick with it. So I'm going to cancel that because I already have one on here. But then when I click Save, my calendar pops up here right in the middle of my page. Class projects. This is a page on here that I've had a lot of people ask about. They think this is more kind of a running list homework or things like that. That's not really what I had in mind when I created this page, but we have 150 different teachers in our district and maybe 150 different ideas of what should go on this page. But my thoughts are this page would be perfect for featuring things that you're currently working on in your classroom. So maybe it could be a particular unit that you're studying. It could be something that maybe your students are creating. It doesn't necessarily have to be a digital project at all. Maybe it's posters they're creating, an article that they're writing. It could be all sorts of things. But you can add the actual finished products to this page. So maybe they made a poster that describes the solar system. You might want to take a few pictures of them next to their posters, or just take some pictures of their posters. You can take video of them. You can actually upload video straight to YouTube, publish it, and then link to it directly from here. It's very simple. I can even show you how to do that in a few minutes. But this page is perfect for showcasing all the wonderful things that you're doing in your classroom. There really aren't any limits with this. This is something too that possibly you could link a Google Doc to the site and then have students kind of be in charge of not monitoring, but writing about what's going on in your class. So you could actually share editing rights with that document with your students, and they could maybe a couple of them each week could take turns writing about what's going on. So maybe instead of calling this class projects, you could call it class newsletter, or you can always change the name of it if you want to. This page, this links and resources, which apparently I don't have linked. My idea for this was, let me just go and grab a document. Let me see if I can find it in here. I'm going to go back into Drive, Document, Resources and Links. Here it is. This is the one I was looking for. My idea with this is once you start using the web quite a bit to teach, what you're going to find is you're going to want to have a place where you share digital resources with your students. Whether it's links to videos, links to websites, there are always going to be times when you need to share links with your students. And this is a really nice way to be able to do that in one central place. So your students are not running all over the place trying to figure out where they need to go to get a link, and you're not running all over the place trying to figure out how to share those links with your students. So I also shared a short little description here about how to make these into a hyperlink or a hot link. And I also have a short tutorial on that if you want to listen to it. And it's much shorter than this tutorial that's kind of running a little bit long here. So that was my idea about how to share links on here. This could just be a running link or a running list, throughout the semester. You could change them out and get rid of links you don't need anymore. There's all kinds of ways you could decide to run this. And I just changed the color and the color of my font and the color of my doc just to kind of match the website a little bit better. The last thing I want to show you is my lesson plans page. And depending on how your administrator wants you to share your lesson plans, this could look like all kinds of different things. This doesn't have to be terribly formal, but my lesson, at my previous school, I like to keep track of my lesson plans on Google Slides. Because what it allowed me to do was I would keep a copy of my slides up here on my bookmark toolbar, and each Friday or maybe even Sunday evenings I would go in and I would update my slides for the week. And these are the ones for my online classes, but basically what I would do is I would just keep a very, very short, bare bones list of here's what we're doing this week. And this served to keep me on track. It was just a way for students to kind of get a heads up as to what we were doing that week. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't very detailed. It was just a quick overview to keep students on track. This would be a fabulous thing for you to keep in your virtual classroom here for students who have been gone. So if you have students who have been sick or out for sports, this could be something that you share with them. And if they come up to you, after they've been gone and say, hey, what did I miss? You could say, go look in the classroom. It's linked on our lesson plans page, or whatever you want to call it. You might not want to call it something quite as formal as lesson plans, but maybe what you missed or something like that. So students will have a consistent place to go to when they are looking for their work, or if they're just curious and want to see what they're going to do that day. So this is just an overview of what the purpose of our Google site is, and please let me know if you need any help setting this up.